Good evening and welcome to Monday Night on Bad Dog Comedy TV, live on YouTube and Ayaka's Kitchen. Now, please welcome your warm-up act. It's a toast.
Hello! Hi, everybody! How are you doing? Okay. Here's another joke, okay? Knock, knock. Who's there? A dish between do, re, mi, and sol, la, si, do. A dish between do, re, mi, and sol, la, si, do. Who? Fa. You know, like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Like do, mi, so, re, fa, la, ti, like the Vietnamese food. But yeah. I'm a toast. I love fa, I'm a father, I'm a fa. I'm toast, and I'm a fa. You know, like some people call it pho, but it's fa. It's not pho, it's fa. It's not pho, it's fa. Hi, everyone. Hi, how are you doing? Hi, okay, so that joke was presented by Toast, and we have nothing to associate with. All right, hi, I'm Ayaka. Nice to see you all. I mean, I cannot see you, but you can see me, and let's have fun today again. Okay, so this YouTube channel is by Bad Dog Comedy TV. So Bad Dog is a comedy theater in Toronto, but they are now online, and it's so much fun. There's so many shows. So support Bad Dog Comedy Theater, Bad Dog Comedy TV. Here's the donation link. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. It's screaming, subscribe. Yeah, and like the video, subscribe. Subscribe. It's like a subliminal message. Sean. This is Sean. Sean's the technical director for this show. Sean's doing a lot of like subliminal message, and you are going to love this episode as well because we have a great guest today. I keep saying this. Asian people don't say I love you or like I love this. I love, like, it's so like, like my mother never say I love you. But I love this person. I love this person so much, and I missed her so much, and so happy to have her. So let's welcome Tien.
Hi, I love you right back. Let's change it. Let's change it. The Asian representation of love.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you, Tien. Thank you, and yeah, thank you for coming to my kitchen on the other side of the screen today.
Of course. It is an honor to be here. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, so happy. Yeah, we met like five years ago or something, but like we haven't seen each other in person because I'm stuck in Toronto. You are doing a lot of things in America, and that's awesome. I support you to the moon and back, and yeah, so I'm so happy that we get to see each other today like this.
I know when you reached out to me to do this, I immediately was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course. Not only do I adore you, but this is such a fun idea. I'm very, very excited to be a guest on Ayaka's Kitchen.
Yay! Amazing. Yeah. So let's get right into it and tell us what is your background?
I am Vietnamese. So my parents were Vietnamese refugees after the war, and I was born in Pennsylvania. So yeah, I would say that I am Vietnamese American.
Yeah, Vietnamese American. Okay, so you told me about your parents' story of like moving to America from Vietnam, and I was shocked. And it's a great story about your sister, your older sister, and stuff.
Yeah.
All that kind of story. Would you like to share a little bit? You told me this story 5 years ago. I remember it so vividly. It was a beautiful story.
I mean, I will give a short version of it, but like, at the time it was Saigon had fallen. It was like after the Vietnam War, and my parents had dated for 2 months and had just gotten married. It was like very much right after the war. And in that time, my mom became pregnant, and they tried to cross the ocean from Vietnam to Thailand several times, but I think on their second or third try, they did it successfully. But my mom was 7 months pregnant on that boat. And it was, for them, a small fishing boat that they crossed over with like 20 people over 4 days and several nights, not knowing if they'd make it or not. And then they made it to a refugee camp in Thailand that the Thai officials at that point had originally turned them away. They were not accepting more refugees. And so they, as a group, decided to kind of boat along a little further down and crash their boat against the beach so that they couldn't be sent back out, which thankfully worked. And my mom ended up giving birth in a refugee camp, which is, to me, sounds so intense. I can't even get up in the morning without complaining. So,
Yeah.
so I am very, very grateful to my parents for,
Mhm.
doing what they felt that they had to do to have a better life for their children. So,
Yes. Yeah, I can listen to this story 1,000 times and still have whoa, that's a lot.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm doing it justice, honestly, because I think something like my parents, I don't know if your family is like this, but Asian parents can be quite reserved. And like my parents didn't really didn't talk about it in a dramatic way. They were very matter of fact about it. Like my mom, when she first told me that, she was like, oh yeah, I gave birth at a refugee camp and the doctor walked away for a while and I had no idea where he was. And I was like, that sounds insane.
Yeah.
You are telling that so calmly, but that is such a wild, I'm sure traumatizing experience. So I'm definitely not doing it justice.
Oh, they're so strong, and they knew what's better for them and the future family. And beautiful, beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry to start off on a serious note, Ayaka's Kitchen.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Serious to funny. We have a huge range of different episodes, and this is awesome. This is perfect.
I love it.
Yeah. So today you picked a dish that's something to do with Vietnamese food, and Toast mentioned pho stuff. And I wanted to come up with that because I mean Toast came up with that because I wanted to mention when people talk about Vietnamese food, everyone thinks it's pho. Or when people talk about Japanese food, it's sushi always. It's sushi. But there's so many other dishes and so many other things that you eat. And so I'm glad you picked something that's not pho. So let's talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Also love Toast. Toast was crushing it. Toast was absolutely.
Really? Stand-up comedian approved.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. So tell us about this dish.
Okay, so this is a Vietnamese dish called cơm tấm sườn bì, which translates to broken rice with pork chop and pork skin. But I think what you have today is jasmine rice with pork chop and pork skin. There's a skewer of shrimp there as well, which you can, the dish itself comes with a lot of different types of proteins. And I think maybe your restaurant did it that way. But the main way it's served is with a broken rice. The darker brown is like a lemongrass and soy sauce and fish sauce marinate, or not soy sauce, sorry, lemongrass and fish sauce and sugar marinated pork chop. And then the lighter brown that you see there is a mixture of pork loin and also pork skin. So that kind of gelatinous looking clear jelly thread there is pork skin, which is amazing. It's delicious. And it is often served with sometimes it's served with pickled daikon and pickled carrots. And that little scallion dressing on top is a nice little scallion oil. And I'm so sorry. all the Ayaka Kitchen fans out there, I didn't have a Vietnamese restaurant nearby because I'm in a small town where my girlfriend's parents live. So I printed out my own version of the dish, which, got the pork, some, skin here and broken rice. This is the pickled daikon and pickled carrots. And it also is sometimes served with a little like steamed egg omelet, which is super good too. And then you finish it with a fish sauce.
Yes, the fish sauce, it came with it, the big one. Gave me so much sauce. Yeah.
It looks so good. I'm so jealous.
Daikon and carrots were hiding, so I found.
Oh, okay, yes, perfect.
Underneath the pickle.
Okay, yes, yeah. So it's also served with like cucumbers too for like a fresh acidic balance to everything.
Yes. So yes, on the menu it said like daikon radish somewhere, like daikon pickle or something like that. So when I ordered, I thought this pork part was daikon. So I was so surprised. This is actually not daikon. This is the daikon part. This is pork. It's part of pork. So yeah.
Have you tried it before? No. Okay, first time.
I have, I no, first time this. Every time I go to Vietnamese restaurants, sometimes I try pho, but very often I have fresh roll and chicken, lemongrass chicken dish.
So good.
That's so good. And yeah, but I have tried like lemongrass pork or like pork chop, stuff like that, but not this part. So what did you say it is?
It's pork skin.
Pork skin, so it's chopped like fine.
Yeah. It's like I might be I'm pretty sure this is correct, but I think it's like pork skin that is soaked, and it gets marinated in like a rice powder almost to get a little more flavor, like ground up rice, and then I think it is cooked and then chopped up into threads.
Yeah, cooked in. I don't often do this in this show, but I have to try it before I roll it. I need to know how it tastes like. Yeah. Yeah. The drum roll.
What do you think?
It's delicious. So it has a texture of like, how do you say it? Like spongy, like a rubbery texture.
Yes, it has a very rubbery texture.
Yeah, but because it's cut so thin, it's easy to chew or swallow. And sesame oil, I'm not too sure, like it has like a little bit of like a, I don't know, roasty sesame.
So if it could be sesame, but it could be that like rice powder that it gets kind of, it has like it's like a roasted rice powder, and that little combo of like the shredded pork can also be eaten in a spring roll. Like it's also very popular in a spring roll or in a banh mi as well. There's like you can buy it as a banh mi dish too.
Yes, banh mi is so interesting to me. So first time I tried banh mi, like it's baguette. Oh, this.
Yes. Did you wear the baguette on purpose for this perfect transition?
I wish I was. I wear this all the time. I mean, it grew in my head, so it's permanently here. Yeah. So first time I tried like those, like not a fancy, but like a kind of hip, like a cool. They play hip hop, Tribe Called Quest, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
In a banh mi restaurant, and then like I have like graffiti stuff in the shop, and then like what they served me was like it's a Vietnamese bread, and then like those meat and stuff like that. And why baguette? Why, like it's French thing? And I had to like Google a little bit. Yeah, tell us about that.
I mean, it's colonialism. The Vietnam was a French colony for. I would be throwing out a number. I should know better, but I honestly don't know how long. I think very long time. And so some of the food inspiration, you can see it in some of the Vietnamese food. So like bánh mì is like, you know, a French baguette. And that's why they have it. It's delicious. It's delicious colonialism.
So many of that concept. We had a Filipino guest in the show, and then they were talking about spam because of the American soldiers brought spam and all that kind of stuff. And now it's a normal dish in the country. And then now that's even in North America with those people coming from the country and introducing us back to those places that they colonized. And it's such a interesting thing that happens in the history in the world.
Yeah. Well, it's also just so interesting, like food has so much history to it, and like can show you, you know, global relationships in a very quick way, because you're just like ordering bánh mì and you're eating some history.
Yeah, eating some history. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So when you talk about Vietnamese food, you have lots of meat. Do you have like any, I don't know, vegetable dish or?
I mean, you know, the running joke anytime we visit my parents, my partner is like, I have never eaten so much meat. Anytime we just like constant, it's like my family, we're just very big meat eaters, but Vietnamese food is a very vegetarian friendly, because Buddhism is a very large religious, there's a large population of Buddhists in Vietnam. And so there is a lot of vegetarian food, but my family in particular, like I grew up, I'm such a meat eater. Ayaka, are you a big meat eater?
Not big, but I appreciate it. I don't want to limit myself from like traveling somewhere and then not being able to eat their dish. So I don't limit myself to be like, I'm a vegetarian, or I don't do that. Yeah.
Like some of my, I mean, I grew up like you said, like pho is very, when people think of Vietnamese food, people think of pho. But for me, or like any kid growing up with like Vietnamese cooking at home, my favorite soup is a soup called bún bò Huế, which is a pig feet soup. Like it's like pork hocks in a like very spicy, full of like delicious depth of flavor broth. And like, that's what I loved eat. Like we ate so much meat that there's like, I loved eating cartilage and like gristle growing up.
What's gristle? I don't know what gristle is.
Gristle's like, just like, you know how some people, when you're eating like a chicken wing or something, they'll leave like the ends of the chicken wing on it. They'll just eat the meat. You leave it? Okay. I eat everything. Like
I'm missing out the good part.
Hey, I don't want to force you into something that you're not going to be into, but I grew up like eating all of that stuff. So much so that my family came up with our own like word for the type of, for eating like that cartilage. We call it gorop, or the gorop, which I thought was a Vietnamese word, but I don't think it is, because when I say it when I was a kid growing up saying it to my relatives, they were like, what the hell is that? And I was like, Mom, Dad, they don't know what it is. Because it's the sound that you're like, it's the actual like sound that it makes when you're eating the cartilage. And something like that pork skin, which is that you said was like a very rubbery texture. We, in my family, we said that was like yai, which is just any sort of like kind of like fatty or like rubbery piece that has that sort of texture when you eat it. And again, I was like, nobody knows what this word is. Like, why don't they know what this word is? And it's because we made it up.
That's so funny, because you liked it so much that your parents had to come up with a word. That's so funny. But you know what? That explains explains a lot about like I always thought you have like perfect skin. You have beautiful skin. This explains so much.
So do
because,
you.
Like, no. But like pork has so much collagen. How do you say that?
yes.
Collagen is how I say it in Japanese.
Collagen.
Collagen, yeah. And yeah, so like it makes sense that like people who have beautiful skin, maybe they have like lots of pork and pork cartridges and either that or kimchi. Kimchi also gives you beautiful skin is what I heard. Like pickled stuff. So yeah. So that makes sense. That
Okay.
beautiful skin.
Okay, you heard it here first. Ayaka and I are gonna start selling groups and yayais as part of our skincare routine. Okay, I love that. I mean, I thank you for saying that.
Yeah, it just made sense to me just right now. Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. In Japan, we also eat like bunch of those things that like North American people don't usually eat. Yeah. So I feel that like we have like cod liver, like fish liver, or even like fish eyeballs, or like anything. Like we eat everything.
Do you? I love fish eyeballs.
You do?
Do you?
I don't go for it for the first thing that I eat, but like yes, like just give it to me. Give it to me. Yeah, I'll go for it. I really like liver. Fish liver is.
Oh my god, fish liver is so good.
So good. Just a little bit of even like whiskey. Some people go for sake and fish liver. I'll go with like gin and tonic. Doesn't matter. Just give it to me. Yeah.
Well, what is like, everyone, like you said earlier, when people think about Japanese food, they say sushi, but like, what is your favorite?
It's, I cannot pick favorite, but anything that my mother made as growing up, that was not the pure Japanese dish, but it's a fusion of like Italian dish or French dish. That's very common in Japan as well. Those were my favorite. So like Japanese style pasta or Japanese style gratin or like beef stew or those were my favorite always. But there's always Japanese twist to it, and we call it yoshoku. And yeah, there's always like soy sauce in this pasta, like soy sauce in this hamburger, or like there's always like soy sauce and always like side of rice. Always.
I mean, how can you not? It's like soy sauce and rice are the best.
Yeah, it goes very well, very, very, very well. Yeah, yeah. So you are in a small town, you said, but you are usually in LA. And how's the food culture there for like people, like Vietnamese people, of course, or like anyone Asian? Can we have an access to good food there?
I mean, LA is like, it does have incredible food. K-Town has, like Koreatown famously has like a very large Korean, American and Korean population. So like the Korean barbecue there is so good. I only got to live there for like a year off and on, so I'm still kind of like getting, when I go back, I will try to take more advantage of it. But yeah, there's like an amazing Chinatown in downtown LA, but then also I believe it's like northeast of like downtown proper has a large Chinese and Chinese American community. So there's like, it's famous for its Chinese food. And then surprisingly, I wasn't able to find a very, very good Vietnamese restaurant.
Really?
Like, yeah, there wasn't, I was having trouble finding it, but there is a famously large Vietnamese community in Orange County.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. It's like, it's so large. I think it's referred to as Little Saigon. Like, I think it's the largest community of Vietnamese folks outside of Vietnam. I'm almost positive.
Wow.
And I used to go there because my parents lived outside of San Diego, or they currently live outside of San Diego. So I would meet them there, and there was so much delicious Vietnamese food. Like, I miss it so much. The hardest part about this pandemic is that I haven't gotten to see my parents in like a year and a half, which I'm sure you similarly. And my favorite food is my mom's cooking.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like
yes.
it's the best. Like how like you know, even when have you tried to make the food that your mom made? Is
It's
it
never
ever
the
as
same.
good? No, it's never the same.
No.
I don't know. And I will watch her do it and I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, that's my question all the time. I'm teaching Nico, my husband, to cook Japanese food like my mother. So I don't have to feel disappointed that I cannot do it. But like he's getting close.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so that's
so
helping
good.
me, but still, yeah. So I didn't know that Orange County. I thought it's like the most like the whitest place. Is like how I thought it was, but
it is part of it is like very, very white. Did you ever watch the OC? That
no.
girl? Okay, so the OC was like a teen drama when I was in high school that was very popular. Okay. Like it was my, I would say it was my age groups like Riverdale or like any of those teen shows. And it was glaringly white. It was like I don't even think there was a person of color on that show. But Orange County, like Orange County is very diverse and just happens to have like a very large Vietnamese population.
Wow, that's cool. And that's cool. You call it Little Saigon, like
Little Saigon.
Yeah.
It's like really, really cool. It's like Orange County, Santa Ana, and Garden Grove are the three. I've only lived there for a little bit, so if I'm misspeaking, drag me, Orange County Vietnamese people. But I think those are the three kind of like areas that my parents took me to when I came and visited them or would meet them halfway.
Oh, that's good.
And has like such good food.
Yeah. Ooh, I believe it.
Yeah.
And then now, just dive a little deeper into that part of Vietnamese people in California, all that kind of stuff. Well, don't tell me much if you don't feel comfortable. But how is the like anti-Asian, like Asian hate crime or anything like that around you being America right now?
I have thankfully, I feel very lucky that I haven't personally experienced anything, but I think it's because I haven't been in LA. During this entire pandemic and quarantine, I've actually been in Illinois and I've been in a college town and I haven't been outside. So like, I just like haven't really interacted with people. So that has been like, I think that's why I haven't experienced anything. My parents also haven't either. They live they kind of live in a smaller town outside of San Diego. It feels like it's happening everywhere, but I feel like it's happening a lot in the bigger cities. Like the stories that I've seen have been in like New York and San Francisco and like Chicago. How is it in Toronto?
I haven't experienced much, but because I hear so much in news and stuff, I feel like, maybe I should be careful walking outside by myself at night, like stuff like that. But I heard some people got pushed on the sidewalk, or some people were yelled at, like, go back to your country. Like some people, like my friends. So yeah it's not fun.
No, it's not fun. It's very scary. I think I like worry about my parents a lot. And I'm honestly worried that it'll just like I think sadly that I think it might get worse just because now we're all going out into the world. Like I'm sorry, the US is making a choice to now like open everything up, and I think people are frustrated, and when they're frustrated, they scapegoat people. And we had a very racist president who scapegoated Asian people for this virus. So I hope it gets better, and I think it will, but it's definitely scary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's it's happening in Canada as well, but like most of the news I see, like the serious news I see, is in America. So I had to ask. I had to.
No, of course. I mean, we're number one in everything.
Oh! Yeah. I loved how when we were walking at Second City together, and also when you were on the main stage in Chicago, you mentioned, okay, I'm gonna make the show as gay and as Asian as I can, and that yeah, I remember it so like vividly. Like I think you either said it to me or like posted on Facebook or like something, and I was like, it felt so good that someone's like, okay, like owning like who you are, and like you're not afraid of, you know, being called anything. This is who I am, and this is gonna be my show. And yeah, so thank you for pioneering all that kind of stuff for everyone else.
Oh, that's too generous, the pioneering. But I mean, I'm inspired by other people who are doing it as well. Like we're all just trying to be ourselves. It took me a while to get to that place, because I think like when I first started doing comedy, I used to say like, I just want people to see me as a comedian. I don't want them to see me as like a gay Asian comedian. And now that I've gotten a little older, like that's who I am. That's very important to me. Like that's what I talk about. And I feel like we apologize for wanting to be ourselves, and I say fuck it, let's just like like I want to, like, all my stuff, I hope that when people watch it that they're like, wow, that was really gay and that was very Asian, and I'll be like, nailed it.
That's awesome. Is it well, you live your life and maybe you don't know other people's experiences as other people feel it, but do you feel there's a difference between being gay in Asian community or Asian household? Like, do you think that makes it hard for you to live?
You know, I feel very lucky. I know it's not like this for everyone. I feel very lucky that when I started doing comedy, and then when I came out, that like it took my parents a while, but eventually, in not that short amount, like in a short amount of time, they are like very supportive and like very loving. And I feel very lucky that as part of my like growth as a comedian, I've gotten to be out and myself the whole time. Like it's no surprise to anyone. Like it's very much, you know, what I talk about. And like, you know, I posted my partner for her birthday yesterday. Like I feel very lucky that I get to do that, and I get to do that and have a very loving and supportive response back. I know that won't always be the case because people are terrible, but I know that there are enough like very loving and supportive people that it feels very affirming, and it feels like I'm doing the right thing by just being myself in this way.
Oh,
I'm trying, Ayaka.
That's nice. I think you are surrounded by the people love you, and you give the love back, and it works out. I know some of my friends, they feel like they cannot talk to their parents about it, or or to anyone, I guess. And yeah, that happens a lot in Asian community, Asian household. So yeah, I'm happy for you being able to do that, and everyone's happy.
Oh my God, you're the best. This is like therapy. This feels great. I you know, I can't speak to my like and like relatives. I don't know how they feel about it, but my immediate family, like my cousins, are amazing. They're like our age, so they're young and they're hip, and they're like, I feel like if you're young and you're homophobic, like what are you doing? But my aunts and uncles, I think, are like excited and proud. Like they shared my stand-up, which
Oh.
is like very gay. So I think people are into it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. Makes me happy and proud.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. I mean,
Oh,
you saw
very
me at
good.
the beginning of my career, so I feel so happy that I got to share that with you, and that you
Yeah.
got to well, that was your first tour, right?
Yeah, big tour. The first. Well, I felt very fortunate that I'm not even American. I'm not even Canadian. I'm like permanent resident here, and got to go to America. And so we toured 22 states. Did you know that? I counted 22.
No, I
That's a
never
lot.
that's a lot. You saw
Yeah.
every part of America. That is like quite the way to see America, because I haven't even like, I don't think a lot of people who even live here get to see America that way. So
Hmm. Yeah, it was
I'm
cool.
glad you got to experience that.
Yeah, I remember when we were in a very small town, and I found a Vietnamese restaurant, and I told you, you have to go here. It's like across the street from the hotel that we were staying. And then you bought a dish for yourself to eat that night, as well as all the like extra. I think it was actually pho, so you can have it in the morning. And
Yep,
the next day,
100%.
yeah, and you were having the pho in a bus or something in the tour bus. That really showed me like how miss our own culture and food, and some places it's hard to find, but whenever we find it, we go for it. Yeah.
I know. Like I'm about to, so where I'm at is like 45 minutes away from St. Louis, which is like a big metropolitan area, and there are several very good Vietnamese restaurants. So I think I'm going there on Wednesday to visit some family, and I'm gonna find that Vietnamese restaurant, and I'm gonna order like 3 things. It's like my first time. I like haven't been able to even get it in this past year, so I'm gonna do that again.
Yay! Do it. Yeah, not just a paper copy of it. You actually get to have
Yes.
it and smell it and taste it. Oh, well, as we are talking, I rolled the sushi for you, and well, it's for me to eat, but
I know,
this
but
is the
you did it so
here.
elegantly and so nonchalantly. I was like, damn, this is impressive.
Oh, good. Okay, so here is the sushi I made with
Oh my God,
everything that
stunning.
was all the pork, the actual bigger pork part, and then the the strips, and then I put all the vegetables here too. So, Tien, do you want to name this roll?
Oh my
How
gosh.
would you call it?
How would I call it? Okay. We'll since we were talking about Little Saigon, we'll call it the Little Saigon roll.
Nice, a little Saigon roll. Yay, Sean, you got it right away.
Okay,
Yeah.
wow, nailed it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, so little Saigon roll. This fooled me. I thought it was all daikon radish strips, and it's not. So yeah, let's see if this sushi fools me and if it's like amazing.
I hope it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I already tasted that part and it was good. So I don't want anyone to hear me chew. So I always ask Sean to put drum roll for me. So let's do that, Sean. Would you be able to put drum roll for me? Oh, thank you, Sean.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sean.
Thank you. いただきます。
Oh,
It's so good.
yeah. I mean, it looks awesome.
Very good. Yeah. I was clapping. I don't know why I was clapping, but that was the tempo of chewing, so I didn't chew that fast. Sorry, I still have food in my mouth. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
So good. Oh, I'm glad I put everything in there. Like the texture is so different.
Right? When it's all like, man, that like bite of chicken skin with the pork chop is like, it's so good. I'm getting this on Wednesday.
Very good. I'm glad the pickles are also there too. Like this a little the acidic taste that you're talking about with the crunchiness of the cucumber and everything. So good, so good. And I think it was sitting on top or underneath the shrimp that was here.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually pineapple.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I think it transferred a little bit of like pineapple juice to the pork or something. It tasted a little bit of it is pineapple. Do you eat pineapple often?
Yeah. Is it pineapple and shrimp?
Yeah, it's like
Dang.
can you see like
okay, yes, I see.
Shrimp, pineapple.
You know, I was wondering when you first did the close up, I was wondering, I was like, that's Toronto has different looking shrimp, but I'm glad. I was like, that I see now. But that's great. I mean, I bet that's delicious.
It's good. It's good. Yeah, a little bit of pineapple taste was like transferred onto the skin of the pork, I think. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And of course, it goes really well with soy sauce. I feel like all the Asian food goes well with soy sauce. I think the next piece I have to try it with the fish sauce, so it will be more authentic to Vietnamese.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, but it's success. It's so good. I can't wait to have the rest later. So yeah, very good. Yay! We did it. Very good. And thank you so much for all those like heartwarming stories. Yay!
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It was so good to hang out with you.
Yeah, so nice to see you. I wish like who knows when, but like I have to see you in person soon. So we get to have all the delicious food together. And everyone follow Hankutina. Oh, do you want to tell why you're called Hankutina?
Oh yeah, I can. My real name is actually Hanthien, which is Hanhtien. And when I was in high school, I had a substitute teacher who was going through roll call, and when he got to my name, he said Hank Tina. So that is why. That is why I go by Hank Tina, just reclaiming that for myself. And it's so interesting. It's like now I think people just call me that now, which is great. But that is why I have Hank Tina as my Instagram handle.
It's so good and funny that like you're not like angry and like, why did you call me that? This is that's not my true name. But like you actually like own it and like this.
I mean, I think it's hilarious because like who would name their child that? No one.
Now, it's working out. You're claiming it. That's good. Yeah. So thank you so much for sharing all your stories and introducing me and everyone to this delicious food. This food I got it from Golden Turtle on Ossington. Yeah, you got it, Sean. Thank you. You're ready. So if you're in Toronto, if you're wondering what this tastes like, go there. It's really, really, really good. So let's do that. And then below, underneath that, it says Bad Dog Comedy TV. Let's support Bad Dog Theater because they are amazing. They're really, really good. And I think like their YouTube channel is almost anniversary, 1 year anniversary, which is pandemic anniversary. But support Bad Dog Comedy TV and don't forget to subscribe. Oh yeah, it's a subliminal. Great. Thank you, Sean, for all this and all that kind of stuff. Sean's the one running this show because I forget things. So thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. And thank you everyone for watching. And follow Hankutina at Hankutina. Thank you. I keep saying thank you. And so now you have to tell me how do you say I love you in Vietnamese then? So I can say.
Oh my gosh. Because it's so interesting that you say that because I don't say it in Vietnamese often. I usually say I love you to my parents, which is I say I love you. I don't say it in Vietnamese, but if you were to say it in Vietnamese, I would say like con thương Ayaka. So like I love Ayaka. So
Okay.
or yeah, like tôi is also I. So like tôi thương is love.
Thôi thương cường. Thôi thương cường.
The
Thôi thương cường
tôi
Tien.
yeah, tôi thương Tien.
Thôi thương Tien. Thôi
That's pretty
thương
good.
Tien. It's like, okay. Thôi
Yeah,
thương Tien.
tôi thương Ayaka.